Welcome back to the Late Mike Show.
This is part 2 of our family holiday to Lanzarote recap. In part 1, we did days 1 through 6, and now we're going to be doing 7 through 12. In part 1, we spoke about naked beach runs, a volcano crater, hallucinating children, and somehow it gets wilder. Let's immediately jump in to day 7. Which is titled Lava Caves, Blind Crabs, and a Hoodie... Why is it called Blind Crabs? I don't remember. Red Crabs. It's meant to say Red Crabs. Lava Caves, Red Crabs, and Hoodie Glow-Ups. So, it's morning.
Mm-hmm.
We gave ourselves a bit of a lie-in because the day before, Henry was really sick.
Yeah, well, let's be real. We had a lie-in like every day.
Yeah, true. We drove to Mirador del Rio and we got there about 11:30 a.m. And this is an insane viewpoint at the top of a mountain, the Harrier Mountains. You okay?
My nose just started really itching. I tried to ignore it, but it wouldn't go away.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning up there, and the view that you have is across the island of La Graciosa. Yeah, little island at the top of Lanzarote. Henry, I know that he was sick the day before, but he was acting a little bit weird. I don't know if it was a bit of like altitude sickness or something.
Maybe. He was just a little bit quieter than usual. He didn't have a fever or anything. But
yeah, it's like he was enjoying it, but...
like we felt rough the next day after we were sick. He probably felt the same.
But yeah, this viewpoint was stunning. It was something I saw online and I showed you and went, we have to go there.
Yeah.
So I was really excited to see that. And it was one of those places that, you know, when you see a picture of something, you go there and it's like it's like Instagram versus reality sort of thing.
Yeah.
It genuinely was like breathtaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was amazing. Really nice. And they have a cafe. Online they say it's a hidden cafe. The only thing you can see in there.
Yeah.
Maybe say the hidden gift shop because it's up the stairs.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a cafe restaurant in there. We had chocolate donuts and a coffee, and it was like to have that with the view out the window. It
was a really nice thing to do. Again, like the day after Henry was ill. Yeah. Because there's not a lot of walking. You basically pull up and you walk in and there's the viewpoint. It's not... Yeah,
it was perfect.
Yeah, it was a good thing to do when he was still recovering.
When I first saw it online, I was like, that looks amazing, but we won't be able to go up there with the kids. But the car park is at the door of it. Yeah. You can drive right up to it, which is great. But I forgot to say, we wanted this day to be out of the sun as much as we wanted, as much as we could for Henry. We don't want... or going swimming and stuff like that. And you'll find out from what we do after this, we couldn't get more out of the sun. Yeah. So after Mirador del Rio, we then drove down the Harrier Mountains with a view across the east coast, like looking out of the island. And it was stunning, a bit scary to drive, to be honest. Yeah. But it was beautiful. And we drove to I always forget what it's called. Ozola, I think it's called, which is like the most northern port, most northern town, and that's where you can get a ferry to La Graciosa. We didn't do that. We just stopped there for literally 2 minutes just to take a picture and say we've been there. And then we started our road trip across the coast, the north east. I got it wrong just now. Looking across the west side of the island. Yeah. The west side of the island is the views. We're now driving across the coast from like the north down the east coast. Yeah. The northeast coast. And it was stunning, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like beautiful.
Crystal clear waters, white sand, but...
big waves.
Yeah, but as I said, we don't want to go swimming today with Henry. And it's cloudy now. It wasn't cloudy when we were at the top. Luckily, we could see everything. But now we're at the bottom. It was a bit windy and cold, wasn't it? So we continue on, and we went to... Do you remember where we went?
Well, first we went to that little beach, which was pretty, and I would have wanted to go swimming if Henry was better.
Literally just parked there, and I took you stayed in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was right by it.
And then we went to that art thing.
The art thing.
I don't know the name of anything. I just went along.
It was called Jameos de Agua, or Jameos de Agua. Jameos de Agua. I'm so bad at pronouncing names, like English names, let alone Spanish names. But it was
Jameos. Isn't J a Y sound in Spanish?
I thought it was Jameos. I don't know.
Doesn't matter.
Jameos de Agua. Basically, it's a lava tunnel turned into an art piece, and we could see lizards. We found some lizards in there, which Henry. It kind of made the day better for Henry, because even though he wasn't ill, he wasn't 100%, and then he saw a lizard and loved it.
Yeah, then he was happy.
But this place was.
I wouldn't recommend this place for kids.
It was,
it's pretty, but like.
Those places around the world which are where like Instagram models go to. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that there were Instagram models there.
Not the cave. Not like, so you first go in, you pay to go in, and then you walk down a bunch of stairs, and you're like in this cave with just standing water inside. Yeah. And you can see through it to the other side, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, stunning.
Like, it's beautiful. There's a little restaurant in there, and then you walk next to the water, and then you walk up the stairs, and there's like this fake pool. It's a real pool.
Yeah.
But it just looks like it's. I'm sorry, maybe I'm not seeing the artistic piece in specifically the swimming pool, because the cave was beautiful, and I can see somebody making that into something beautiful. But then you come up and it looks like a pool.
Is this a 5 meter deep pool that you can't swim in?
Yeah.
It's just there to look nice. And we should have like looked up what it was meant to be and all that, but there wasn't clear signage. There's like no signage anywhere
telling you anything.
To tell you what, unless we walk straight past it and miss it because we were concentrating on the kids. I don't know, but it was stunning. It really was.
It was pretty.
But like,
I'd take out the pool.
The swimming pool bit. I've looked at this on like Instagram and online and stuff, and the swimming pool is like the centerpiece. Like, loads of people take pictures there. Yeah. Because it's like white paint. There's a palm tree. It
looks like a really nice swimming pool that you'd find at a really nice hotel.
I've never wanted to go swimming more. Yeah. When I saw it, but it's just a swimming pool. Yeah, but if you turn the other way, it's a lava tunnel, and it looks phenomenal. Yeah. So that bit's, like you said, that bit was the better part. Yeah. So we went up there, and we got to the end of that, and in the restaurant we had a ham and cheese toasty, like croissant toasty thing. And the kids like had enough now, but we didn't have enough by this point. So that lava tunnel is connected to like it's a 7 kilometer tunnel. Yeah. But it's like caved in. So
some of it's caved in.
So this part here that we went to wasn't connected to the rest of it. That's why it was formed as like an art piece, just that little section. So we drove like 5 minutes up to...
Not even 5 minutes. It's like a 2-minute drive, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Just to like another point of the lava tunnel. And this was called the Cueva de los Verdes.
Cueva de los Verdes.
There you go. You can say it better than I can. And we weren't going to do... We
weren't going to do this part because the kids were getting crabby.
No, I didn't plan to do these two places. So the Jameos de Agua, I looked it up, and the Cueva de los Verdes. I looked both of them up, and I said they would be so cool to see if you didn't have kids with you. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I know about it, but we're not going to do it. But on this day, we're driving past it. We thought, let's just do it.
Yeah, we had time.
And to go into the second part, this wasn't like an art piece.
No,
it was a raw, legit lava tunnel. Yeah. That you get a 45-minute, 50-minute guided tour through. So I held Emmy the entire time, and she was really good for me, to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
And you held Henry's hand the whole time. And it is sort of place that it's definitely worth experiencing. But like, if you're not able to go downstairs and like dark, it wasn't. Yeah.
It was
the
really
access
cute.
Wasn't
that,
amazing.
Like, for us, it was probably like, I don't know, how tall is that? Like a meter high tunnel that you do have to like you have to crouch and walk through. It's not the whole way. Most of it's like you're walking upright and you're fine. But there's like a little bit that you have to like duck. So I'm ducking. Henry has more than enough room to just walk through.
He could jump with his arms up.
Yeah.
He wouldn't touch the
and
top.
He wouldn't touch. But he's like crouching and like...
Yeah, it's really sweet.
It was really, really cute. I was like, Henry, you can walk normal. He's like, no.
And the whole time, Emmy's just in my arms going... Mind your head. Mind your head. Just over and over and over again.
You can't give away the secret of this place, though.
Oh, no. There's a secret. If you ever go to Cueva de los Verdes, I'm going to keep saying it to try and get better at it. If you ever go there for the guided tour, there is a secret ending. Mm-hmm. There's a surprise ending. Which really
cool.
No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to say it, but it's really cool. If you go there, you love it. It's amazing.
It's beautiful. It's stunning. I would say that's probably... I'm not a big, look at the mountains kind of person. I think it's really pretty. But this, to me, was cooler.
If you've been in there and you're listening to this and you know what we're talking about, or you go and do it and whatever, you'll understand this. So it gave me a feeling. I'm not sure if I've ever had it before, or maybe when you watch like an amazing movie... And you go, wish I could see that again, like for the first time.
Yeah.
Because when the surprise happened, I was like, I want to go back to
2 seconds ago.
Yeah, 2 seconds ago, and do something different because we were told to like not have our phones out and for safety. And I'm like, I could have had my phone out and I could have seen that, but it's a secret that's kept.
Yeah.
But yeah. Amazing time, wasn't it?
And it was good for kids. Like Henry had no problem going up and down the stairs. He's 4, so like if a child is younger, like Emmy, you might have to carry them through it. But I think it was good for kids. Henry really liked it. Yeah. The tour guide was amazing. She kept calling Henry Spider-Man because he had Spider-Man on his shirt. Yeah. Yeah, it was really good.
Emmy loved it. Emmy surprised me.
Yeah,
she really did.
Yeah,
and we haven't even spoke about the actual cave itself. Like it's lit up, so even though there's different colors of the rock down there, the lights make it even more like amazing and dramatic and stuff. But there's a large part of the tunnel where it was a flowing river of lava. And then as it
went out into the sea,
ended, and it left this tunnel, and there's like spikes on the ceiling from like lava drips. Yeah, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And you're like looking at it, like, how is this real? It's stunning. One of the most amazing things I've seen.
One of my favorite days, and we saw lizards there too.
Yeah.
Henry almost stepped on one. He didn't want to go in the cave. Remember?
No, he was.
He was crying, and we walked up the stairs, and then he almost stepped on a lizard, and it ran away because I didn't see it, and he didn't either. Yeah. And then he perked up. He was fine.
Yeah, that cheered him up, and then we did it.
So if you need to cheer up your kids,
get a lizard. Yeah, it was awesome. It was also that sort of feeling that you'd been sick, I'd been sick, Henry'd been sick, but now this is our first day. The first day of the holiday re-begins now, sort of thing. So it was a really, really cool scenic day to start off the proper holiday. Yeah, and then worrying about if Emmy was going to get sick. Yeah. Spoiler alert, she didn't. Thankfully. But I was worried every day. Yeah. After here, we wrapped up the day by going for a quick swim in Costa de Guise on the cove there. Well, I did, didn't I? Mm-hmm. You went paddling, but you didn't have your swimming stuff with you. Remember, and the kids didn't want to go in. I wasn't gonna. It was the sort of place that, because we said we weren't going to go swimming that day, but I had my swim shorts in the car. It was like, let's not go there for hours, but we're not going to go here again. Mm-hmm. And I was boiling from holding Emmy for like an hour down in the cave.
Yeah.
So we literally just stopped there to just see the area. I had a quick dip, and then we had a little walk around. Headed back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Nice day. But now, day 8, the return to water park hell. Do you remember what happened in the first water park in part 1? Luckily, nothing like that happened in this day.
Nobody was injured.
But there was a lot of crying.
Yes.
So, Costa Teguise Aqua Park, water park. It was literally 5 minutes. Remember, the drive was 5 minutes for us.
Yeah, it wasn't far.
In the morning. So it opens at 10, and we got there like as it opened pretty much. The kids started off
really good.
Like, yeah, water park.
Yeah.
We went swimming. Well,
so I'm not going to describe the layout because that's just too
boring.
much. Yeah. But we got to the kids area, and it's like a ton of little water slides that they would like. I would have allowed them on. Like they were kids water slides, even though some of them were tubes. And there was one that was shaped like a pirate ship, and Henry was really excited to go on it, ready to get in the water. So that's what we did. And then you went somewhere. I had the kids by myself for a while. I don't remember where you went. To change, maybe?
Oh no, I went to get. We dumped all of our stuff by a deck chair, right by the entrance. There's a big pool there, and then not describing the whole park, but I said before we jump in the water and they get cold, let's have a little walk around, see if there's any other places. You go up the hill and there's a whole other area. So I went down, grabbed the stuff, but my route down was down a water slide.
Yeah.
So instead of walking down the hill, I thought, I don't know if I'm going to get on a slide because of what happened the other day. So went onto a slide. Yeah. Got the stuff.
And the kids were great while you were gone. Like they liked the water. They were doing water slides.
It was so nice because I came back up and you're up on that pirate ship and they were waving to me.
Yeah.
I was like 50 meters away and you spotted me. It was lush. But then Henry decided to be the only kid in Costa Teguise, like
screaming
the whole town, to just scream and whine and say he wants to go home because he's cold now, because he won't go up to his shoulders in the water to get used to it. He's not a swimmer. He's not much of a swimmer at all. He has his armbands on, but if it's not like a heated pool, he's not interested. So we don't want this to turn into a screaming match, because that's not how we are anyway. We're not scream at our kids, but we're also like, we've only been there like an hour. I don't want him to get his way by literally just whining and saying he wants to leave, because I'm thinking, if we leave, what are we going to do? Move on to tomorrow's plans or go back to the hotel?
We paid for it too.
We've just had 2 sick days on holiday. So we go, right, here's the plan. You're staying on the deck chair in your towel for the rest of the day, unless you want to go swimming. And me and Mama are going to swap. And one of us stay with the kids, and the other one goes down the water slides. And by the way, I just said everything about Henry. Emmy was also doing the same. Emmy was genuinely
wasn't
cold,
screaming and crying though.
She was really good. She was shuddering.
But she was her lips were blue. She was cold. But she didn't scream the place down. No. That was
so we weren't going to force Emmy to carry on.
Yeah.
But she was just. She said, I was like, do you want to go back in the swimming pool, Emmy? No.
Yeah.
It wasn't screaming.
Yeah, it wasn't screaming.
So they stayed there, and me and Sarah literally just took it in turns. We stayed with the kids.
We had a great time.
This was the point where I said to you, it's sad because even though we've done amazing things,
we can't do them together.
I had this first feeling of, I'm actually on holiday, like, because the sun was out. I was actually really hot, just in swimming shorts, going down water slides, like, this is what holiday is, isn't it?
But even if the kids wanted to go swimming, like, where we probably won't be at the point where we can do things together on holiday until our kids are like 8 minimum, where they're going on water slides and like
they can wait when we're all going on water slides, or they can wait at the bottom of the slides on their own. So we took it in turns, and we're not gonna go on and on and on about a water park, but
it was fun.
It was nice.
It was big. This is we went to 3 including the ranch, but this was the biggest one that we had gone to, and it's definitely a full day.
Yeah, so if you're going to Lanzarote and you want to go to a water park,
this one.
Yeah, Costa Tegui's Aqua Park is the biggest one that we're aware of anyway. Yeah. There's a Aqua Lava Park, which is, or if you like search up, those are the 2 that come up. And I was debating which one to go to. The only reason I chose this one is because it was 5 minutes away. Yeah. If you're going to pick out those 2 and you're able to drive because they're opposite ends of the island, Costa Tegui's Aqua Park is a full day.
We did both.
Yeah, the Aqua Lava is half a day. Yeah. And you're going to do everything twice in half a day. So it's really small. But it's good.
We'll go, because that's
later on.
Yeah, that's later on. But this water park is really big.
Yeah.
Really big. Yeah. Lots of things to do.
So after this, I loved the end of today. So we had a really good time at the Aqua Park, but the kids didn't. Well, they did, but they didn't. They
didn't swim. They had fun.
They both said they had a great time.
Yeah, I don't know. Kids are weird.
But as we had the car, and we always like to take advantage of having a car and not just going straight back to the hotel, I suggested, do you want to go to Famara, which is at the bottom of the mountains where, like, the Mirador del Rio, the Harrier Mountains.
I don't know the names of any of these, so I don't know why you're looking at me.
I always struggle to say Harrier Mountains because I think it's Harara, but it's not. Harrier Mountains, on the northwest of the island of Lanzarote is Famara, which is like golden sands and a tourist beach and stuff. That's where we were heading, just to like go and see it, because this is now like 5 o'clock, 4:30. We got there. So we weren't going there for a beach day, but it was a place that I really want to go to for the view of the mountains. And we go in there, and it says residents only, and we're now in a little tiny village which is called Caleta de Famara, which is like a tiny little fishing village, it's not a tourist place at all. And there was that the old guy sat in his porch, like a proper Spanish old guy sat in his porch. And I was like, that was a point where I was looking at the mountains from this beach. I was like looking at these houses, and I was like, this is beautiful. It was really, really nice there.
It was really nice. And you were taking pictures, so I ended up leaving you with Henry. Yeah. You and Henry took pictures, and me and Emmy just walked along the beach and then walked over to like rocky bit of beach. And we were just looking at rocks and at tide pools.
If you ever go to Caleta de Famara, this isn't a place for a beach day. This is literally a tiny little dock. It's really, really rocky, and there's really like awesome rocks there that look like
popcorn.
They look like popcorn. Well, it's funny because you go in, you go left to like the dock, and it's all sand.
That's the beach, yeah.
The beach part. Yeah, but it's all a beach, isn't it? But yeah, the sandy bit.
Yeah, the sandy beach.
The sandy bit, which is nice. And I could see, like, it looks like a mouse brain. Do you know what I mean? It's like a white little brain. Yeah. So I'm like, what is that? So pick it up, like, sheepishly.
Picked up the mouse brain.
And I'm like, oh, it's a rock. So it's a bit of coral, basically. And I dropped it, and Henry or Emmy actually, like, kicked sand into it, and I lost it. So like digging through it, I'm like, that's a really cool rock I just found. And then we turned and went right towards the mountains, and there's thousands, millions of these like little pieces of coral, which looks like popcorn. Yeah. So the kids loved that.
Yeah. They played popcorn. They were making me popcorn, and
it was stunning, because it's funny as well, because if you take a massive handful underneath you got like really small bits and sand. So it's like at the bottom of a popcorn
Yeah.
bag. It's really bizarre. But it was one of my favourite moments because it wasn't swimming, it wasn't sightseeing, it was just like a wholesome experience.
Just looking at tide pools.
All of us were just enjoying just being there.
Yeah.
The kids were loving it.
They loved it. Yeah.
I had like a really special moment with Henry. Like when you and Emmy went off, I haven't showed you the video. I set my video up to just like walk past it for like a cool little shot for doing the video. And I'm holding him looking at the mountains and he just turns and kisses me on the cheek. And I'm like, oh mate, I love you. And I was like, you enjoying this holiday? He's like, yeah. And it's like, oh, this is lush. So, not to get all soppy and stuff, but after that, back to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And bed. But because of the popcorn rocks, Henry is now saying he wants to have a movie night with popcorn.
Yeah.
So we went to the shop and bought popcorn and all this stuff, but it was now way too late because it's like 8-9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we promised that we'd do it tomorrow night, day 9 night. So we had all the stuff ready, but we had to go to bed. But day 9 comes around and it's called Secret Castles, Pirate Markets and Boat Buses. Before I get into this, Secret Castles, the reason for the castle, on the way back from Famara to our hotel, we saw a castle up on the hill. Castle on the hill. Yeah. A castle up on top of a mountain, and we said we have to go there. So that's our plan for tomorrow morning.
And to the market, yeah.
Yeah, so this was day 9 was Sunday, and every Sunday in Teguise, not Costa Teguise, but Teguise, the old capital, they have a massive Sunday market, like hundreds and hundreds of stalls. So although we didn't want to go there to buy things, we
wanted to have a look.
We wanted to see it.
Yeah.
We didn't want to go there for hours. We just wanted to see. But the main plan, we wanted to experience a boat. At some point in this holiday, we wanted to do a boat trip.
Yeah.
But we decided we're so close to Teguise, let's do it. So the castle on the hill was literally right at Teguise, isn't it?
Yeah. So we did that first.
Yeah.
You drive up like this windy mountain.
Yeah.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
But
you can see like hundreds of people walking to this market, and then you turn right and just drive up a mountain.
Yeah.
So that's how close it is to the market. So it worked out perfectly. And so the castle is called Castillo di Santa Barbara. Epic views. So this was built in the 1500s. I think it was 1571, and I think the reason they built it originally was for a lookout. Lookout! What was that? Just happens to my throat. It was a lookout tower for pirates, and then it was like a refuge place for villagers and all that. And now
it's empty though. There's nothing inside.
They host historic things there. You know, all those chairs were there.
Yeah.
They host things.
Yeah,
there.
that makes sense. There's a
it was
wishing well.
Yeah, it was. It was. So Henry liked throwing a coin in there. But yeah, it was free to go into.
Yeah.
So if you are going there to Lanzarote with a car and you want to just tick something off with an awesome
it's really
view,
interesting to look in.
Yeah, because you go up on top of it as well.
You go on top and you go in the basement.
Yeah, you do the whole thing in half an hour.
Yeah.
Not even that. But yeah, it's a free thing to see. And yeah, once we're done with that, back down the mountain to the Teguise market, where we robbed parking.
Yeah.
It's €2 to park. And there's an old guy there waiting for you to pay him. And he said to pay when you come back to your car, and it doesn't have a card machine, so you have to get change. So I did all that, and he wasn't there.
When we left.
We didn't pay. But in the market itself, it was cool, but It's a market.
Yeah, it's just a market.
It's just white.
There's a lot of cool stuff there, I'm
white
sure.
Stools everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of it's repetitive a little bit, like with the football shirts and all that stuff.
Handbags. Yeah.
Yeah. And like G-Style Raw t-shirts and Louis Vuitton t-shirts and Gucci t-shirts. It's all like the same fake brands.
Yeah.
I really wanted to get some cheap t-shirts, like just plain tops. They all couldn't find any.
No, because they're fake Gucci.
Yeah, but we did buy Henry and Emmy Lanzarote football tops. A red and blue one for Henry and a pink and white one for Emmy.
Yeah,
it's sweet. This is Emmy's first football top.
Mm-hmm. Soccer.
Football. But the plan was to have a boat experience, and Tagiz is not on the coast. So, on day 2, I think, we went to Porto Calero just to have a look at what this was.
Yeah.
To see if there's boat trips and stuff. So we
did this quite a lot, where we would just drive to, like, potentially the next day's thing, just to look at it to see if it was suitable for the kids. So that's why it's not in this recap, because it's just a drive. We're not doing anything there. We're just looking at it.
It's literally 10-minute drive south down the coast from Porto del Carmen. So Porto Calero, we knew that there was boat trips there. There's a submarine boat you can do. It goes like 30 or 40 meters below the sea, below the water, below the sea. There's shipwrecks and dolphins and all that. I don't know about dolphins, but we didn't do that because we're like, what if the kids have had enough of this
and want to get off the submarine? But that would be like anything, a boat.
So we got some information on like day 2. So we went there knowing what we're going to do. We're going to do just a water bus
taxi,
water taxi, which takes you from Porto Calero to Porto de Carmen in like 20 minutes, if that.
Yeah, 15.
And it's like, it's one of those.
It's like a ferry boat that doesn't.
That
doesn't take cars.
Yeah, but it's
a small one.
It's a boat trip that if you want to take a small kid on a boat for the experience of being on a boat and not be charged a fortune, like Emmy was free.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's cheap, cheerful, and we sat on the front.
Yeah, we sat on the bow.
The bow. Is that what's called? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sat right on the front, and it was really cool.
Yeah.
So we went to Porto del Carmen again, but this was now a different point than where we went to on day 2. Got ice cream, went to a park.
Yeah.
And there's like a cove. Is it a cove like the rocks?
Yeah.
And there's loads of kids, like adult kids.
Teenagers.
Backflips off rocks and like cliff jumping
adult
and stuff.
Kids.
Do you know what I mean? Though?
Teenagers.
They're not kids. They're like 20s. They were like young.
That's not kids.
Yeah, it sounds
There's some
so
young
old
folk
now.
there.
There's these youngsters. These youngsters jumping on there and going to break their necks.
The water was stunning though. Like like clear blue. You could see some rocks, but like sand underneath. It was beautiful.
It was really hot now as well.
And I was hot.
So we were like, let's take it in turns and just have a dip.
Just jump in, yeah.
Yeah, so glad we did that.
Yeah.
It was lush. We only had like an hour and a half before the water bus took us back to our car in Porto Calero. So, yeah, ice cream, walk, quick dip, and then walk back to the boat.
Yeah.
Singing row, row, row the boat.
I had a fantastic smoothie.
Oh, 2 of them.
Yeah.
They were really good, to be fair.
Smoothies were great.
And we spoke to...
Strawberry Fantasy.
We spoke to a lovely Irish couple that told us about the ferry that takes you to Fuerteventura. Because we said, we've just done the water bus, but we want to do, like, we're thinking about, should we do like a proper boat trip, like a dolphin tour, or go to Fuerteventura? Because that's just the
next island over.
20-minute ferry to the south. And they said, make sure you take your passports, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Like, definitely do it. But I wouldn't advise taking your car because it's more expense, and like you want to just go there and just enjoy a lunch on the beach.
Yeah,
and stuff.
but we were sitting there thinking, our kids don't like the beach.
Yeah. But also, it's not like crazy money, but I think it's something like 70 euros per adult. And then the kids, I don't know how much, 50, let's say, for example. And we were thinking...
For a beach day.
For a beach day, yeah. Exactly. And I'm sure that it's like something that we would have done if it was just me and you. Because we were seriously debating it, weren't we?
Yeah.
But that boat is from Playa Blanca. I was thinking, am I getting ahead of myself? But no, it leads me into day 10. Day 10, Captain, Dad, and the quick-fire sightseeing sprint. So, we woke up fairly early. Still kind of alive, but fairly early to go.
We got up early this day. We got
to Playa Blanca at 11.
Okay.
Which means we left at 10.
Yeah.
Ish. It's about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
This is our first day going to Playa Blanca, which is right at the bottom, right like south of the island. And it's really, if you're going to go on a all-inclusive holiday, you're going to go to Puerto del Carmen or Playa Blanca.
Yeah.
They're the main two places. So I've heard about Playa Blanca, but we hadn't been before. And our route there was through the mountains, really, really high up. And the first view that you get of Playa Blanca from these mountains was just already, you're like, not Playa Blanca itself, but like the fact that you're so high.
Yeah.
And you can see Fuerteventura in the distance. If you've got a car, if you're going to Lanzarote, get a car. It's so nice.
Yeah.
Such an amazing scenic island. So we drove to Playa Blanca and already we're thinking it's a lot hotter down here.
Yeah.
It was
felt
definitely
hotter. But we were also getting there like midday, which is the hottest point of the day.
Well, yeah, 11 o'clock. But the whole plan for today, no matter what happens, we're doing a boat trip.
Yeah.
So if that's a dolphin tour, not going to Fuerteventura, we left our passports in the hotel because we're definitely not going to do that. But even though it's fairly easy online to book a boat trip, we didn't do that, did we? We're like, I'm sure that if we go and speak to someone, we can just hop on a boat and it'd be a lot cheaper than booking fees and all that stuff. But we spoke to one guy on the Playa Blanca Marina dock, and he said it's windy today, so there's two options. You can have like a small boat for yourself, you drive it yourself. There's life jackets for the kids and all that, but I wouldn't advise it because you haven't driven a boat before and it's very windy today. So
it was moderately windy. I wouldn't say it was like,
but out on the sea, you don't know what it's like. No, when he's telling me that, I'm thinking out on the sea. He showed me his phone as well. He said it's better tomorrow morning. He said, but he said if you wanted a boat today, it's the other Marina Rubicon, which is 10 minutes away, and there's a captain that will meet you there, and it's 160 euros an hour, and he'll take you to Papagayo Coast and all this. And in my head, I'm like, I don't want to pay that.
You were like, I thought you were going to go for it. And I listened to the guy talk for a little bit, and Emmy lost her shoe. And then I was like, this doesn't sound right. Yeah. So then I walked away from him while you were still talking to him. And I looked at the sign, and it was like £70 per hour to rent a boat. Or you can pay for a captain for an additional €20 an hour. So that I'm like
90.
I'm thinking that's 90. Why is he charging us 170? So
160.
Whatever. So I was like, I don't like the feeling I'm getting from this guy. I want to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
But I'm the kind of person who can't say that in front of the guy.
But I'm there thinking like,
we want to do a boat.
What do? I don't want to have a waste of a day now.
Yeah.
Like it's too windy for us to do on our own. I don't really want to do it tomorrow because we're here now to do it.
Yeah.
So I haven't confirmed anything. I didn't exchange any money. we did exchange numbers for the WhatsApp to give me a pin on the map to meet, like the meeting point on the Marina Rubicon, which is next to it, where the boat will be. So I thought, right,
let's just go down there.
Let's go there, because we know that there are boats there. And where we were, it was like the ferry coming in from Fuerteventura and stuff. So the waves were crazy because of the big ferry coming in and stuff. But we said, right, let's go there, parked up, and we walked down to that marina. And it was like nobody there, was there?
Yeah.
It was silent and it was lush. And we found an office in there. And I had no idea what the company was called. No idea. We went in there. We basically said what we wanted. And she suggested a boat called the Hannah, which is like a 5 or 6 seater.
6-seater.
It said on there like 5-seater, because then I said, oh, what about that one? And that was like a
8-seater.
8-seater. But you could get 8 people in this one we did.
Yeah, you could. But like, it's not.
Yeah.
It's a smaller boat. Yeah.
So we looked at that, and this one was 70
euro.
Was it 70? 90? 80, yeah, 80 an hour to drive it yourself. Or there's other ones that she said about, and you were like, oh, that one seems cool. It's like a mini cruise. I'm like, looking at the time, like, that's 20 minutes. It's basically like the water bus we did the day before. So we finally decided, right, let's go for it. Let's just drive our own boat. And this wasn't available until 2:00, and it's now 12. 12 it was.
Yeah.
With an hour and a half wait. But right opposite this was a restaurant called Bar 1. Bar 1. And you mentioned earlier, I don't know if it was part 1 or in this part.
One.
In part 1, Sarah spoke about an amazing
Spanish omelette.
It
was delicious.
Yeah.
You got a cheeseburger.
I had another cheeseburger. But we were basically just waiting, weren't we?
Yeah, killing time, had lunch.
Yeah.
And then the captain arrived.
A dog appeared.
Yeah, the dog appeared first. Do you remember his name?
No, I keep on... Bernard.
No. Ramon,
yeah.
Ramon.
Yeah. A lush dog started...
Pomeranian.
Yeah, I don't know didn't know what the breed was, but he starts running down on his own. You can see the guy behind him without a lead, and he comes all the way to us. And Henry love dogs.
Yeah.
And Henry always goes down to like cuddle them if they're friendly. We can tell they're friendly. And the captain goes, he's friendly. So Henry went down to give him a hug, and he starts licking
his ear,
licking the hell out of his ear. And it's just, I just felt like this is all gonna be great.
Yeah.
From now on, it's all just gonna be so good. And he said, "Can I leave my dog here with you whilst I get the life jackets for the kids?" So he tied the dog up, came back, put the life jackets on the kids. We walked down onto the dock. I feel like I've been talking for ages. Do you want to talk?
We went to the boat, and then the captain, I'm sorry, I don't know his name. The captain and Ramon showed us how to drive the boat. The boat came with like snorkels and goggles and stuff for swimming.
Yeah, I'm so happy that they had that.
And he taught us how to drive the boat, and then we were
off. Put it into
yeah,
reverse.
It's easy to drive a boat.
Just drive like a car.
Because you're not going out into sea, so like you stay by the coast. So we had like, he gave us a map of where to go and like where we can't go past because there's a reef there.
Yeah, so along the coast, the bottom right coast of Lanzarote is the Papagayo Beach, and the coves around that. So we knew where we were heading.
And we stayed pretty, not close to shore, but like
we
stayed on the outskirts.
He said there was yellow
buoys.
I've always said buoys.
It's probably how the British pronounce it. I don't know.
Boyd or boys. Boys is what we say. I don't know.
There's boys in the water.
Yeah, that's why I was always confused as a kid. Look at that buoy over there. Wow.
Where?
So there's a
buoy.
big yellow ball that you can... Yeah, there's a couple of these across, and they are about 200 meters from the beach.
Yeah.
And that's where we tied up. But when we were driving there, we were another 200 or 300 meters out from there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were pretty far out. And the water, the color of the water was just, it's absolutely stunning.
But driving a boat is easy. I would say.
Oh yeah.
Like, don't be scared to do one of those no license rent a boat things because they're so easy.
Yeah.
Because you were nervous.
I wasn't nervous about me driving it. I was nervous about the kids falling out of them. But like, it's never gonna happen.
No.
Obviously, but.
Oh, and when we went on that water taxi.
Yeah.
The day before, the people who work on the boat stopped to show us the fish, and they threw bread out.
Yeah.
So when we were on our boat, we had just had cheeseburgers. The kids didn't eat them. So I pulled like just the top layer of bread off of the cheeseburger and threw like a tiny bit into the water, and all of a sudden a bunch of fish.
Yeah, it was like splashing out the top of the water. It made me nervous to go in.
Yeah.
I don't like fish. And I thought they were piranhas.
Piranha.
Yeah, I did.
I was worried about barracuda.
You said barracuda, and in my head, it was piranha. That was literally in my head. And I'm like, it's not. But we tied up and had a dip
and then,
had a swim.
And then you were too nervous to go in. So I said, okay, I'll go first. And then I was looking down at the fish, and I said, I'm worried that there's barracuda in here.
No, you went in, and then you came straight back onto the boat really quickly.
And I said, I'm worried that there's barracuda in here. Can you have a look if there's barracuda here, like on your phone? And you Googled it, didn't you?
Yeah, well, everyone listening, Google, are there barracudas in Lanzarote? And it will say, very common, and the best place to see them is off the coast of Playa Blanca.
Which is where we were.
Right where we were.
So then I was a little bit nervous, but barracuda, like, they need to be provoked.
Yeah.
Typically, but...
Well, I'm there in my head thinking it's piranha who just go crazy. I don't even know what a barracuda is. So, yeah, I did a backflip off the boat though. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, so we all drove the boat, had a great day.
Yeah.
Then drove back.
No, we didn't drive back. Well, we drove back to the marina.
Yeah.
And then it was now gone 4 o'clock now because we had 2 hours on the boat.
Yeah.
And it's about 50 minutes or an hour back to the hotel. But I thought instead of heading straight back, the way that it was taking us was like up the west side and then across the middle. So I said, let's just do 2 quick detours. We went to Jameos Salt Flats, which is Playa del Janeiro. It's basically salt flats.
Yeah.
Do you know what that is?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I don't know what they do there. I'll be completely honest. But in 1730, lava from volcano eruptions formed the walls of the natural lagoon. Really cool.
It was green.
It wasn't. This wasn't green.
Oh.
That's the next
blue.
bit. It was white. The
lagoon was green.
Yeah, the lagoon. That's
what
after
I was
here.
talking about.
No, this is after this.
Oh.
Remember we stopped for those massive waves?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's the salt flats.
Yeah.
I looked this up online before. It was a place that I thought, that looks cool, but we won't go there. But as we were driving past it, 5-minute detour, had to see it just for a picture. And then we got back in the car for another 8 minutes to El Golfo. El Golfo. And then another 5-minute walk along a hillside.
Yeah.
Mountainside. And then you have the view of the green lagoon that you were talking about.
Yeah.
It's pretty, isn't it?
It's I wouldn't say it's worth a trip to go out of your way to it, but because it's literally just a 5-minute walk. But if you're going to go to that little town that's there, it's definitely worth the 5-minute walk for the view.
Oh, yeah.
But I wouldn't say detour 30 minutes to go there.
Don't plan a whole day
No.
around going to the Green Lagoon, because it is like a big hotspot on like things to do in Lanzarote.
I think there's a beach there though, but we were there so late that people weren't on the beach.
So we went Golfo side. If you go the other side, it's called Playa de whatever.
Yeah.
Can't remember. I don't know what it's called, but I think that might be like a beach there, and then you can walk from the other side. Yeah. So maybe that's better. Because when we came in, we went right, didn't we? Yeah,
but there was nobody on the beach.
No, you can't. I think you can walk up to it, and it's all roped off.
But then it's roped off. But there was nobody on the beach because we were kind of late.
This natural volcanic green lagoon. It was stunning to see.
Very pretty.
And then, like a 30-minute drive back, and the kids were sleeping. Were sleepy. Back bed. Day 11. Do you want to read this one?
Sand cars, crab caves, and the grilled cheese that betrayed us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so true.
Yeah, right.
So this morning we woke up with just the thought, because my thought anyway was, I want to go swimming.
This is our last full day in Lanzarote.
Full day there.
And full night.
We were a bit hesitant because the kids didn't like swimming, but at this point, we couldn't do anything else other than swimming or sightseeing. We've completed
the island.
Yeah. So we said, screw it, we're going swimming today. So Dan drove us to...
Papagayo Beach.
The first beach that you went to.
Oh, yeah. Arrecife Beach, which is right by the airport.
Yeah. We pulled up and I went, you don't want to go to a prettier beach than this?
Well, to be fair, the night before, we were saying, like, let's go for a beach day. Let's not go too far and all that. So I'm thinking, well, we've done Carmen to Geese and all that. And then along there, unless we go back up to like the north that we've been to, wherever I just said. Arrecife. It's the capital. It was where the airport is and all this. Yeah. But it's like it's a city feel, isn't it?
Yeah.
The beach... Like the sand is nice.
It looked like a nice beach to go to, like if you lived there. But as a tourist, you want to go to like a cove and somewhere cool. Yeah. So you were like, well, I don't know where to go. And I was like, okay, well, I just quickly Googled on my phone somewhere down in Playa Blanca again. Yeah. And it was one of the first, like I looked from our boat trip. I remembered seeing beaches there that looked pretty. So I wanted to go over there, and coincidentally, you had looked up that beach.
Well, Papagayo Beach is absolutely stunning, and it was in the original itinerary that I made, but I swapped that out for something I can't remember because, like there's like one facility there, there's one restaurant and. Like the whole area is like desert. Yeah. So you've got it's
a dirt road.
Like a 10-minute dirt road and stuff. Yeah. And like some reviews were like, oh, kids won't like it because of the bumpy road and all that.
Our kids loved the
bumpy road. Yeah. Laughing their heads off the whole way. And I'm so glad that we went there because it was somewhere I wanted to go. But when we rented our own our own boat and we looked at the beach from the sea, in my head I was like, okay, we're not going to go there, but at least
we've
ticked off this part of the island as well because we've seen it from the sea. But yeah, we went there and it is stunning.
Yeah, beautiful. And the kids had a great time.
So yeah, we stayed on Papagayo Beach. There are other coves and beaches around there, but we want to stay near the restaurant and the facilities because we had the kids with us. Yeah, and we spent like the whole day there. Yeah. We got there early. We got there like 10 o'clock, and we were there until 2:30. That's when we went to the restaurant. Yeah. So I want to skip through it a little bit because it's just a beach day. But I do want to mention we took it in turns to go snorkeling, and I went out first, and I climbed up onto the rocks quite far out on the right side. And there's this big, it's like a cave. It's just erosion. You walk in it and you feel like you're in the mouth of a whale. You didn't go in there, did you? I got some videos on my phone, I'll show you them. It was stunning. And then I went to walk up to the rocks to like maybe jump in. And there was 6 red crabs on this one rock and then some other ones. And I'm like, ugh. I don't want to go anywhere near that because I don't like crabs. So I jumped back in the water and I swam back and came back and it was your turn.
I was building a sandcastle.
But then I went again. I took my phone this time. Mm-hmm. That's how I got the stuff. And the crabs weren't on the rocks. And I'm like, oh shit. Where are they? I don't want to go in the water now.
Yeah.
But no, I set my phone up and I dived into the water and stuff.
The snorkeling there was really cool. Like, I didn't climb the rocks and stuff. I wasn't as confident.
Did you see the anchor?
Yeah.
It was cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was cool. But you can still snorkel and stuff without having to climb rocks and things like that. I think if I had been able to go with you and we didn't have the kids, I would have been more confident to climb rocks. But every time Dan would go out and he would go like around the corner and I couldn't see him, I'd be worried because like if he fell, I would never know. I'd just be like, damn, he's taking a long time.
Yeah, true.
Like I worried every time. But
yeah, sorry about that.
No.
I've actually got a video where I zoomed in to the beach to you and the kids making sandcastles.
Yeah.
And I zoom out to me on these rocks going, there's Sarah and the kids playing, and there's me being a terrible dad climbing on the rocks all the way over here. But I was really proud of myself because, I mean, it's dumb, but over on the left side, you've got some more rocks. And I still had the snorkel, but it was leaking. I just don't know how to use a snorkel very well, I don't think.
Your snorkel was leaky.
Yeah. So I didn't have it in my mouth. It was just attached. And then I dived in on that side and I was back at the beach. And I just went to like take my goggles off and I was like, oh no, the snorkel's not here. But I'm like, it must have happened when I jumped in from those rocks. So I swam back thinking, it's gone. And I looked down and it's probably like I'd say 4 or 5 meters down and I could just see it against these rocks and in my head I'm thinking, what's in those rocks? But I need to go get this now. So I just went down, felt like I was in a movie retrieving someone.
Yeah.
Ears were popping, got it, came
got
up,
the bends,
pushed off from the sand, came up. I loved it. Such a dork. I love it.
But the kids really liked that beach. They liked playing in the sand. There was no... Henry even went snorkeling with me, like on my back. But...
Did he put his head in?
Not once.
No, he didn't go snorkeling.
He had goggles on.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He had his goggles on, but he didn't put his face in.
No. But yeah, that was my favorite beach day.
Yeah, it was the best beach day.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we drove back up. So, no. We had food at half 2 from the restaurant. Oh my god!
Don't eat it. Sorry, I'm just gonna say it. Don't get food at that restaurant. No. It's ridiculously priced. Kids' meals were €14 each.
14.50 euros.
Yeah, so we paid like €30 for just the kids.
Yeah, which was chicken
nuggets and fries.
It was 1 chicken nuggets and fries, which were literally just nothing special.
Yeah.
They're just cheap chicken nuggets. And then fish fingers and fries for the other kid.
The same price.
And fish fingers were better quality.
The kids ate them.
But we were looking at the menu, and I know that you could say, well, you didn't have to eat there. But we didn't have food with us.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to eat. Like, there's a 10-minute dirt track, and then you've got to go and find something to eat. And the kids were starving. It's half 2.
Yeah.
The day flew past. So we're like, what?
Paella was like €30.
What's that?
A rice dish.
Right, yeah. So you're saying, what do you want to me? And I'm going, I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah.
And you're like, was it the English version is below? I'm like, I still don't know what it is. And then you said, well, this is grilled cheese.
Yeah.
So we're like,
well,
cool.
It said like something queso, and then underneath it said grilled cheese. So I didn't just translate that. I don't speak Spanish, but it said grilled cheese. So I was like, okay.
But we're thinking that's a toasty.
Yeah, quick bite.
A cheese toasty.
Yeah.
It's still expensive. Still like 14, 15 euro. But we're like, it's classed as a side. So we'll have that. So we've eaten something. And 2 Fantas. €70 it came to. Mm-hmm. The grilled cheese was literally four chunks of cheese grilled.
Yeah.
And not the best cheese either. I couldn't finish them because it just made me feel sick.
It's way too much cheese.
And it was like, I'm not even a cheese board guy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I like cheese. I love cheese.
I'll be honest. I had like 3 of them, or 3.5 total, and I was kind of full.
Yeah, it was filling, but
and we had the bread. The €1 for bread, the hardest, driest shit bread I've ever had.
Yeah, like
a
rolls.
Brick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't eat there. If you want to get drinks there, like sure, but I wouldn't
go there for drinks and try and get a seat where we had a seat. It was
right next
on
to
the left in the corner. You got a view of Papagayo Beach, and it's a beautiful view, but you're paying for the view.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, and
kids' meals being €15 basically is.
But they're doing it because they can get away with it.
Yeah.
But so after that, we thought, right, we'll get out of Playa Blanca now, back up, and we actually went to, where did we go? We didn't go straight back. Where did we go? I wrote it down. Can you remember? We went somewhere else.
I didn't.
We went for the bike ride.
Oh yeah.
This was the bike ride in Costa del
sorry,
Río.
I thought you were like, what did we do between that and the bike ride? Yeah, we went for the bike ride.
No, I couldn't remember where in the islands we went, but it was Costa del Río, because on
day 1 or 2.
Day 2 or something, when we went and walked for the smash burger that almost killed me. When we went for that walk, we saw a family of 4 riding this. It's like a golf caddy, but on a bike.
A bicycle made for 4.
Yeah.
But only 2 people
and we're like,
pedal
that's cool. We've got to do that.
Yeah.
So we said we were meant to do this on our final day, which is tomorrow, day 12. But we said we've got enough time to do it now.
Yeah.
So let's head up there.
And Henry really wanted to.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
It was tiring.
I had so much fun. It wasn't that bad.
No, yeah. I mean, so it was a 6-kilometer ride that we did. If you did it on a normal bike, that's nothing. That's fine. On this bike, you can't change gears. So if you start going up an incline, you're in agony going for it.
Kids are laughing, going faster, faster, and we're like
but we were both laughing. Like, imagine if we were like, oh, this is so my legs are killing. But we were laughing the whole time. It was so special. I loved it.
Yeah. And like the kids are buckled in front of us.
With their little steering
wheels. With a steering wheel. I had a steering wheel that didn't work, but I kept using it because Dan can't steer.
I was
like, move away from these people.
Yeah. So we both of our pedaling moved it.
Yeah.
But I was the only one with the wheel that actually moved.
Yeah.
Turned us. But at one point you're like, turn, and you're spinning. I'm like, if I did what you just did then, we are tipping over.
Obviously, I wouldn't be steering that way if I was actually steering.
You're like, turn then. I'm like, I need to give ourselves a bit of room. We were fine.
It was fine.
We're now arguing about it, but at the time it was great. Yeah. Absolutely love that.
The kids going by, everybody walking the boardwalk going, hola, hola.
Yeah, the whole time, hola, hola.
Yeah.
Hola. And then it was our final night and we decided to pack up, didn't we? So then we could leave early the next day. So our flight home was at 7:30 p.m. So we knew we had one full day left.
Yeah. We had to get to the airport we had to go there by 5:30.
Yeah. So we're like, right, if we waste the morning packing and all that, and then just waiting around to go to the airport at 4:00.
What a waste of a day.
And just staying in the hotel pool that the kids don't like. Pointless. So what we decided to do was pack up the night before, load the car up the night before, apart from some essentials, and we headed back down. Actually, day 12, Lazy River Victory Lap, and 2 a.m. Gremlins. So, final day of the holiday. We decided to wake up early. Yep. We're already packed up, and we're going to head down to Playa Blanca again. For the 3rd day in a row. We absolutely loved it down there. We went down there to Aqua Lava Water Park. We mentioned earlier.
The second lava park? Water park.
Water park.
Water.
Did we mention earlier or in part 1?
Part 1.
Yeah, in part 1 we mentioned about Aqualava, and it's a small water park compared to the other one we went to in Costa Teguise, but it was kind of perfect because
definitely
we didn't have the entire day.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to leave there at 4-5 o'clock.
Yeah.
We arrived at
10:30.
10:30. It opens at 10. We got there at 10:30, and at 2:30, I think, we left.
Yeah.
We had lunch there, and we completed the whole park twice.
Yeah.
So
it was good. The kids area is, they have slides, but it's not like the water park, the other one. I would say it's smaller, and it's got one of those dump buckets. So like for kids Emmy's age, you would really have to keep an eye on them because of the dump bucket.
Oh yeah, imagine.
Yeah, Emmy under that. Yeah. Henry actually went swimming. They had a wave pool, but the way that I got him to go in was the lazy river. I told him that you can go in the water without having to get wet, and I promised him that if he didn't want to get wet, that I would make sure that he didn't. So I took him on a float with me, and I prefaced too by saying that there are 2 waterfalls, and I will do my best to keep us out of them, but you might get splashed a little bit. So that got, like, his feet were dangling in the tube, so like his feet were now used to the water, and he was more comfortable with the water. And then he wanted to go in the wave pool after that and actually go swimming, so it was good.
The wave pool was great. I think they call it Aqualava Beach. They called it.
Yeah, that was from the night before, which we didn't mention. After the bike ride, Dan went to go get the car, and I stayed on the beach with Henry, and you took Emmy, didn't you?
Yes, yeah.
And we were just jumping the waves. So he likes the water when it's like something to do. Yeah. So we would chase the water as the waves went in, and then the waves would chase us as we ran out. And then he really started liking the water. And I think that's why he really liked the wave pool as well.
Yeah, the wave pool was great because it brings in decent waves.
Yeah.
Probably if he just stood still at like the height of the wave, it would have hit him like in the chest.
Yeah.
So we stood back a little bit, and so it would have hit him like in the waist.
Yeah.
And every time they came crashing in, I'd lift him up and he'd jump over him, jump. My back was killing.
But for adults, there's only 5 water slides, really.
Yeah.
There's only 5 water slides. And
one of them's one of those toilet bowl ones when you go around and drop in the center. It was really good. It's really fast, but it's not smooth. Yeah. So it's like
the creases always hit.
Bump but
I
on
feel
your back.
like that's every one of them.
Yeah. I'm not just calling that one out.
No, but I don't think we could have done any more time there, to be honest. I think we did it perfectly, where we planned a whole day at the water park in Keys.
I can go on water slides all day long, but we did all 5 of them twice.
Yeah.
We were perfectly happy, and we still had time to kill.
Yeah.
So.
And we went in the lazy river a couple times, the wave pool a couple times. We brought Emmy into the kid area. Yeah. So
what I like about these, I don't know if it's everywhere because it's been a long time since I've been to water parks and stuff, but both of these water parks have got photographers walking around. The price is a bit expensive, but they will take pictures of you if you see them, like group pictures and stuff. Yeah. But they also take pictures of you like going down the slides and like action shots, which you don't even know is happening. Yeah. And then at the end,
they have face recognition.
Scan your face, and they'll bring up all the pictures they took of you. So in both parks, we've got like 7 photos from each one of our favorite ones. We picked
because
7 out of
we didn't really take pictures at the water park because
but for those 7 pictures, which are digital, like emailed to us, they were €30. Yeah. So like 10 of them was €50, and if you want them printed, it's like more 75 or 65.
But we stopped getting printed pictures because we've gone to a couple of theme parks and stuff, and we've bought in the pictures and
never looked at them again.
They just sit there. I'd rather have them on my phone.
And if we want to print them out, we can.
We can,
yeah. So we left Aqualava, and we drove we went into the same car park that we did when we looked for the boat in Playa Blanca. But then we decided, let's get out of here So at least we're like close to the airport. So we drove up through the mountains one last time and stopped in Puerto de Carmen for the last time.
Got an ice cream.
To get an ice cream, yeah. In a casino. So of all the places to go in, we went to a casino with limited...
They had those really yummy smoothies here, though.
We stopped there because they had smoothies for Sarah. And right, like 2 doors away, there was a spa shop, which sold hundreds of different ice creams.
Yeah.
But the kids were happy, we were happy. And we had our swimming stuff and our towels, which was soaking wet. So Sarah had one of the towels out of the car for the entire 30-minute drive. Didn't do anything. Didn't dry it. Just made the side of the car dirty. So when we parked up for an hour and a half in Carmen, we hung it all out on our car.
Yeah.
Looked like a crazy car, didn't it?
It got some weird looks. I was watching.
Yeah, but it worked though because the bag of stuff was so heavy. And when we changed in Aqua Lava in the family toilet there, we could just hear this. And we saw that one of the big towels that we've got is just in the sink, and the tap has been nudged and it's just running water.
Yeah.
So you imagine how heavy a towel that's saturated is. And we got to go on a flight and cram that into our suitcase. So, dried it all off.
Yeah.
Went to the airport. How was Emmy?
Emmy was a nightmare on the way back. The flight there, I thought she was good, but on the way back through the airport was the worst part. It wasn't even the flight. It was her going through customs, checking our bags, and then getting food with her. She was just not listening, screaming. She was just awful. Yeah. She was okay with me on the flight. Both of them were okay with me on the flight.
Yeah.
Because we sat...
The flight wasn't too bad.
Yeah, we sat separated, so we each had an entire row to ourselves.
Yeah, our seats were A, B, C, D.
Yeah, so I was sitting in an aisle seat next to two strangers.
Did a lady talk to you?
No, well, kind of. So Dan and the two kids are sitting in one row, and then I'm in the next to Dan, but across the aisle next to two strangers. And then the two women in front of me were together, but there were 2 empty rows in front of them. So she asked the flight attendant if she could move, and she said, just wait for boarding to be completed. And then boarding was completed, and she looked back at me and she said, leave your husband with the kids. There's an extra row up here. And I was like, okay, I wanted the row not to leave you with the kids.
Yeah.
But I wanted the row so we could have 2 rows for
and you had a window seat as well.
And I had a window seat, and I had
the view as well taken off.
I didn't have a window seat on the way there at all. So it was nice to have that. And then I took one of the kids after we took off. Yeah.
And we landed at quarter to midnight, around midnight.
Yeah.
And then we were just waiting for our bags, but we had to share the conveyor belt, so it took longer for our bags to come out, and we finally got picked up by my mum. Gone 1, got home, gone 2:00. Yeah, and it was tiring, but we got back, and the 2 a.m. gremlins in that title was because when we got back, our kids were super hyper.
They didn't sleep on the plane. We got them up early. They were up from 7:30 in the morning until 2 a.m. That's crazy for them. Yeah. Their bedtime is 7. Like, they're sleeping at 7.
They went straight down tonight.
Yeah.
We slept in as well today.
Yeah, we slept till 10 this morning.
But we've wrapped it all up. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. If you've got all the way to the end, then... Congratulations to you. You pat yourself on the back.
I'm excited that we'll be able to listen to this in the future.
Yeah, we've done this so we can
look back.
Exactly. And one day at work when I'm driving, I can just stick this on
and remember our holiday
and go back to the holiday. Yeah. But if you have been listening, thank you so much, and make sure you hit that follow button. I think that's it. Yeah. Until next time.
Adios.
That's a good one. Adios after bedtime. That doesn't make sense. That's not it. Goodbye after bedtime. See you at the bedtime.